Hey you guys, it's Jaffe, and it's Nick, and it's Monty, and we are here with our second Drawn to Death update. And it's Tobin. Tobin's usually not with us. Tobin's behind us. So this is going to be a relatively meaty, dense update. So if you just want to know what's new in today's build that just went live, check out the notes right below, and we will have just listed out sort of the main stuff. But for a conversation, let's jump in. New stuff first. So obviously, happy Easter, happy Passover. If you're like me, you just celebrate simply being alive. Happy that. But it is our sort of Easter spring update, which is, you know, it's just some fun surprises. It's not like we have some crazy shit going on, but it's always fun to celebrate the holidays, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of the fun little things we've snuck into Drawn to Death, and let us know what you think. By the way, speaking of, how are they getting the gifts? There are 2 exclusive Easter taunts that are only available this build, and after the next build goes, they're gone forever. So how do they get them?
So you log in, it'll be in your inventory, so go to change taunts, and they'll be right there, and you can put them in any slot you want, and fire away.
Okay, and there are it doesn't matter. That's how you do it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So and also check the text taunts. There's new shit in there. See what you think. Let us know. Also, not today, but going live next week is a new map called Vertigo that Tobin designed, which was really interesting because it's very divisive on the team, and that some people were just like, this fucking thing, we hate this thing, and others, including me, were like, this is the coolest map in the history of maps. And it was really fun because we were debating, and then we finally asked Sony QA, and they were like, that wasn't their favorite map? Yeah, so hopefully you guys will like it. That'll be next week. But that's all of the new stuff, and there's tons and tons of great tuning and our responses. We think it's good response to your great feedback. So Nick's going to jump into the tuning. Or you were going to do the new stuff. Okay. Nick's jumping into the tuning.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
So, yeah, there's a bunch. I mean, also new-wise, there's a ton of bugs, which Monty will go over as well, bug fixes. So one of the changes is Cyborgula Dash is on R2 tap, whereas before it was on charge. So, but the second, so the first one is on tap, so you hit quickly, but then you still hover and can still connect.
Aim for the next guy.
But it's just a faster response time to get
so you can like switch that special and immediately smash into someone.
Yeah, and then the golden gun in 2 vs 1, it doesn't show up actually, just to make better balance there. And then the base damage nerfed slightly
on the golden
on the golden gun.
Because there were complaints that people were like, dude, the 1P guy who's already so buffed is now getting the golden gun, and it's unfair. So that should be fixed. Let us know.
Yeah, cool. Devil's Rift damage changed to 50 on first impact, and then an additional 25 on the second impact. What was it before?
It was basically you did 20 and then 40, and so first off, a lot of people were missing the second one and going, this weapon's underpowered. The other part was just in general, it's one of the harder specials to connect with, and so it didn't seem fair that it was doing the least amount of damage. So if you're able to get them both, you'll get 75 if you connect with both of those.
Another one is JRPG homing nerf to lose tracking after 5 seconds, and it also has a smaller collider radius. It seemed like it was a little OP in terms of the homing, right? Like
and now it's actually starting to degrade over time. So it'll start with really good homing, and after a second, it gets a little worse until it's just crap. So it should be more fair.
Yeah. So then the ice can sniper nerf reduced headshot multiplier damage of Suzanne. So yes, people are still being able to do that combo. So it's just nerfed.
I'm sorry. Now you're like, well, why didn't you fucking just do the tuning, Jackie? I'm sorry. I'm not going to say anything else. Only because I'm going to try. But only because it's not the sniper. What it is so whenever you get hit with the ice can, there's like a nerf that goes on the victim.
Right.
It's not just with the sniper. So Vera basically went in and made that a little more of a point reducer. It helps a lot with people who are basically sniping and headshotting and getting 97 points. But it will be any time you free somebody, it'll take effect at a greater nerf. Sorry.
Cool. No, all good. Russian Jackhammer bullet speed increased slightly. Bullet bending aim assist reduced for hip fire.
That's bullet spread actually, so it's a little less accurate.
From the hip.
From the hip, right? Because people were just using that gun, and a lot of people thought it was OP, and we felt like it was compared to the other guns, so we gave it just a little bit more jitter to it.
Yeah, and then the Bloodbath Hallway Ghost has better collision. Right. I think before it wasn't like synced up correctly.
Yeah, you could be in like the small staircase and still get hit with it. I think we fixed that, right? Correct. So
you could fix that when it went wonky.
Yeah. All right, so let's just talk about bugs really quick. We got through some of the bigger complaints you guys had. Anyone who had the level 15 trophy or didn't get the level 15 trophy from the tower, you'll get it now. So as soon as you log in, it'll check to see that you've made it to level 15, gives you your trophy right away. the Cyborgula zombie bug where his headache, where he explodes, but then he's still running around at 0%. We think we fixed it, so please, you Cyborgula players out there, if you see it happen, just let us know, send us a video. But we think we squashed that one for good. We fixed the issue with matchmaking in ranked, where if you're if you're in a session, you're playing with 2 players, or you're playing with a partner, and then you match up with one other person, you would have to sit there and wait for a 4th person, which feels really bad. But now you'll just go in and play the 2v1, just like it is on ranked. And then we fixed that really bad team deathmatch bug where if somebody quits, all of a sudden the teams are wrong. Like one guy looks like he's by himself, but he actually has a teammate, and it's all screwed up. So that should be fixed as well. And as always, if you guys find any other bugs, just hit us up on Twitter or hit us up in the forums. If you have video, that'd be awesome. And we're trying to squash as many of these bugs as we can.
I think one thing we missed is new is character videos. We didn't talk
Oh, that's
about
right.
that.
Yeah, so, okay, anybody who's watching this has probably played the game, we assume, but now these guys who are already in, unless they've picked a character, they won't see them, right?
Oh, they'll see them. They'll see them for the first time.
I think
Even if they've already had it. Okay, so when we put character videos, which you've already seen them online, they're about 40 seconds each or something. The reason they're in is we would do focus tests, and we even see fucking reviews we got hit with, where literally reviewers would play, I don't want to, whatever. People would play the game literally for like 2 or 3 matches and be done and go, okay, I played it, it's just a standard arena shooter. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, that's not for us to say, but what is for us to say is that when we see people running around simply as, say, Ninja or any of these characters with the FU-47 and a shotgun and going, big fucking deal, it's shotguns, and, so we put the videos in when you first pick the character for the first time, just so you go, okay, even though you may not know how to do these things, you realize right away there's stuff these characters can do. And so if you've played the game, you're going to be like, Jesus, I can't skip this. It's kind of the same thing with holding the X in the tutorial. We know it can be annoying. We don't mean to be annoying. It's just that we have found through data and focus tests that when we sort of, I hate to use the verb, but when we force people to sort of watch this stuff, the end result of them enjoying the game goes up meaningfully, and so that's why they're there, and we hope you'll understand. And I mean, they're not like shit videos, like a snuff movie or something, but it's you
only have to see it the one time too. So but they're cool. You might want to watch them again, which you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And then new stuff. The main thing is on the forums, on Twitter, on the subreddit, we're we're cataloging this. We're meeting multiple times a week going, okay, there's this complaint. Some of it's bugs, some of it's tuning. We're seeing all this guy's OP, this guy's OP. What's happening right now is a lot of people are kind of going, this guy's OP, then someone comes in and counters it. And so we're also looking at data and seeing which characters are winning more. And so we're not really at a position yet to sort of address those issues. It's not that we don't hear them, it's just that we're not quite sure with the data yet. So we're hearing you. Please keep engaged with us. We'll keep being engaged with you, and we will make changes very quickly, but we just need a little more information. But what we know we're working on right now, which we can't really say when it'll be in a build. We think very soon, but we can't really promise specifics. We just want to give you an update of some of the stuff we're working on right now, which Nick will go into.
Okay, yeah, so there's certain things like, there's stuff like MMR, so there's some confusion as far as how it works. So essentially what we're going to do is show more, there's kind of 2 MMR scores. There's the true score under the hood, and then there's the score that we're presenting that's kind of a better approximation of where you are. So we're going to expose the true score now, just so it's a lot clearer.
Because people were complaining they would win and they would drop.
So because it's I mean, we could do a post about the math behind it, but it's pretty complicated. So we just figured, you know what? Let's just show the true MMR score to everyone. Let's see, what else do we got?
There's the team deathmatch going into sessions issue, right?
Yeah. So we're looking at basically, I guess you should explain that one.
So one of the things we're finding that's really hard for us to balance is that if you play with a friend in a session right now, because we have one team mode, we can only put you in team deathmatch. And we at first were thinking, let's just match sessions with sessions. But frankly, we never know how many sessions there's going to be at any one time. Mm-hmm. And so the people in a session could be having a crappy time waiting and waiting and waiting. And so what we've said we're going to do instead is that we're going to keep team deathmatch in ranked, but it won't be session team deathmatch. It'll just be that if you get put in as sort of one of the random playlists that comes up, one of the games on the playlist that comes up. But in that, people had noticed Team Deathmatch being frustrating because sometimes you'd have the highest MMRs together with the lowest MMRs together, and that was we were just putting them together randomly, and I think there was just some misfiring communication on the team. So what we're also working on, obviously, is averaging that out. So if you have two great players, they'll be on opposite teams with two lesser great players,
Right.
and that's all in ranked TDM.
Yeah.
TDM sessions will still exist in friendly, they'll still exist in unranked, and I think we're even saying that sessions can go into the other game modes in unranked
Right.
as
In
well.
unranked, we're going to say that if you're in a session, you will get occasional death matches
In
where,
organ donors.
in organ donors where you can play
Right.
against the guy you're
And we
buddying up
totally get what that could mean, and we're
Right.
ready to respond to it if we do this change, which we think we're going to. But it seems that that is an easier problem to solve than the problem of 2 sessions versus 2 sessions and clogging up matchmaking for both the free-for-all players and the session players. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, and then so another change related to Team Deathmatch is actually changing the scoring. So it's more like right now it's based on kills and then damage, and so we get situations where like someone would get 4th place, but they actually perceivably did better than they thought they should, and they thought they should have gotten 3rd. So under the hood, there's the actual scoring, which rolls up into the team score. So on the podium now, you'll see the actual score, not the kills and deaths. It'll basically show you the true score. So it'll make more sense if like you got 3rd or 4th.
So if you get, so right now you could get 4th, come in last as the team, get 4th, but you did more of the kills.
Yeah.
So that's gonna, it'll be more fair.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it'll
wars-
be clear.
Fair.
So another change is we're looking at 8-minute, or like basically reducing the match duration just to help, and the brawl duration of going down from best of 7 to maybe best of 5. And the reason is we're trying to, we're noticing the average match duration is around a certain point anyway, but the reason is to try to get people in and out of matches quicker, to get more people in the matchmaking pool, so there'll be more just matches, right? So less wait times and more people matching with different players and stuff. Let's see what else.
Brawl, did you talk about Brawl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
brawl in the
Yeah.
8-minute team deathmatch and deathmatch.
Oh, when you okay, so yeah, I guess we talked a little bit about the penalty stuff, but yeah, when you back out a penalty, when you back out in a state of the game where you could get a penalty, or it starts counting towards your penalty, you'll actually get a message just so that's clear, is that, and try to deter people from doing it.
So
as well.
yeah, I want to speak to this because one of the things we're seeing is we're getting people writing and saying, "Oh, I'm losing stars" or whatever. Now we just put in a couple of days ago our rage quit system, whatever. But it basically, we're not going to go into the details, but it basically calculates how many times you've quit out mid-match. And we obviously, we're lenient. We're not, people disconnect, there are accidents. We're not, the cat fucking rips the cord out of the wall, or you got to go to dinner and stuff. So it's not like you can never, do that. But there's enough time where if you do it, we're going to start, we've started to say, okay, we're going to drop you, I think it's a floor in the tower, even beyond a checkpoint, correct?
Yeah.
And so the problem is, the first problem is that we were probably a little strict on our first settings. And so if you have lost stars in the last handful of days and you feel that it's unjustified, just hit us up. We're happy to make that right for you. We're not trying to be jerks about it. We understand we're tuning this as we go, and we'll work with you to get you back where you need to be. But the other thing is, when this message Nick is talking about goes in, what users will start to see is, we hope it'll stop some of the cherry picking where you've got people who never want to lose. So they get put into a lobby and they see they're up against somebody that they don't think they can beat and they back out. Well, that's where we start penalizing if you do it enough. And it's random, so you never know which day, how many times we're checking, what it's going to be. So that could also be happening where you think you're losing stars and you didn't deserve to lose stars, but maybe you kind of actually did because you were sort of cherry picking who you wanted to fight against. And there's pros and cons that come with that, but it's ranked, and so we're trying to keep it as fair as possible. We totally understand that there are sometimes if you get put up against someone that you're like, I can't fucking beat this guy. It's like, I know. And we're lenient. There's a couple times where you can kind of take a knee on that, or I don't know if that's a proper sports analogy, but it's probably not, because if you take a knee, you're going to win. So it's basically, you can probably get fucking, I'm not going to win this, but we're not going to. So yeah, you can do that sometimes, but we're not going to let you do it so much that it starts hurting the game for other people. So, but that's in right now. We're just not messaging it, so just be aware of that. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Last thing is, people have asked about new. Okay, Vera's working on a new mode right now. It's really, really fun. Hope we'll get it out soon. Tobin's crazy working on maps. What are you working on right now? Because people have been asking me, make some maps from Twisted Metal 2, and what are you making right now?
I can talk about that one.
Well, we don't know if it's going to come out, but this is the one we're working on. We think it'll come out soon. But all the stuff we've said since we got done with the bugs and the new stuff for this build and the tuning, we're just sharing with you guys what we're working on, and we hope it'll be out very soon. But it's none of that stuff is coming out next week. It might, but so talk about it, but in that context.
Well, going into in the middle of spring here, going with a wintry theme, which is kind of funny, but we're doing basically an iceberg themed level right now and stuff like that. I mean,
where it is from TM2, not the same layout.
Yeah, I mean, inspired basically from TM2. There was an iceberg level in there and stuff, and the concept is the same, where it starts off big, and as you're playing the level, so as time goes by, pieces of it start collapsing, and the level gets smaller and smaller. I mean, the layout's completely different on this, and it's been completely reimagined and all that stuff. But
yeah, it's fun. It's really cool.
But
really cool.
yeah, I mean, so far, enjoying it. So.
And then we are not. Well, I don't know if Twin Spectre, who's in the community, you guys probably know who he is. He's running a contest this weekend. It is not affiliated with Bartlett Jones. It's not affiliated with Sony. But if you go and check out Drawn to Death Arena on Twitter, sign up. He's offering prizes like I think it's a $150 PSN card for the winner, and then there's a second prize like 75 or 50, and a third prize. And I think he's trying to get. He's got 32. He's got more players. I mean, we're just getting started out. It's the first ever Drawn to Death tournament, so we're excited to see how it goes. I think he's going to try to get up to 64 players in for this weekend. So if you're into that kind of stuff, check it out.
That's very cool. Thanks for setting that up too.
Yeah, absolutely. Really we're excited to see how it works. And if you play in it, send us videos if they're good matches so we can share them. All right, you guys, have a happy, safe Easter, Passover weekend, and thank you so much from all of us for supporting Drawn to Death. Amazing support, amazing passion. It's awesome. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
I think Easter's this weekend.